It was the very first day of January this year that I stepped out onto the beach and I saw the sun slowly peeking out from the horizon. That was the first light of the year. The view was magnificent, and it showed me a new year of hope and enlightenment. So few of us give ourselves moments like that. We often fly from one thing to another, accomplishing one thing after the other. And for the past few years of my life, that had also been the case. I was a student leader in college. I was managing my school's literary publication while focusing on my academics and my thesis and my internship. And graduating from college only made things crazier. After I passed the board exam, I worked as a headhunter at a startup firm. But not more than a year later, I left that job so I could study master's in psychology at the University of the Philippines. While doing that, I was working as a freelance writer. But I soon stopped doing that job when I started my social enterprise, Tanglao Mental Health. With all of those, I was breathless. I was overwhelmed, as if I had been running a race, yet competing with no one. I had forgotten how to just stop and revel in each moment. I was running my life full speed ahead, as if someone or something had been chasing me. But the truth is, I had a deep-seated fear. And we all have this deep-seated fear. I know because I am not the only one going crazy over my to-do list. Now, I have a passion for observing people. And there's this one girl I've been mentoring. She had been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. She called me up one night and told me, "Ate, I got pregnant." She then proceeded to tell me everything that had happened to her. She felt as though everyone and everything was controlling her, and she couldn't do anything but just accept. Because it had always been that way, and it was always going to be that way. Everything in her past, how she was raised, who surrounded her, what she had become, everything controlled her in that moment. I saw this as an interesting contrast to my father, who always has a vision of the future. My father is a serial entrepreneur, and he loves starting businesses that are way ahead of his time. And when his previous businesses failed, he always had something else to blame, be it a calamity, a cheating business partner, an unappreciated vision. Now, these two people, they have opposing experiences in life. One dwells in the past, and the other pines for the future. But they do have one thing in common, and it's that they both believed that external things are in control of their lives. But that's the thing. That's the problem. That shouldn't be the case. Now, we have been so focused on the past or on the future because we're afraid of something powerful in the present. And this is what we do for most of our lives. We're either on one side or on the other, afraid of living in the present. And here's the truth about that. We are afraid of living in the present because we're scared to realize how truly powerful we are right at this moment. And if there's one great thing about our lives as humans, it's that we are in control of ourselves and of our lives. A renowned psychologist by the name of Albert Bandura is perhaps best known for his social learning theory. And this theory veers off from the traditional learning theories where we will only learn when we are presented with a source of reaction. Social learning theory puts forth the idea that, hey, we can also learn just by observing and imitating other people. But he has another amazing concept that we in psychology call personal agency or self-agency. And this concept simply says that we have the power to control ourselves and our lives through the decisions and the actions that we make in this present moment. Now, here is where we get stumped. Because for most of our lives, we believe that there are external reasons for why we do things and why we make decisions. And these external reasons are usually not in our control. But this is our true power. This is our secret power. And this is also our deep-seated fear. Because when we do realize our own personal agency, then we have to be accountable for everything that we do in our lives. So the present then becomes an increasingly scary place to be. And being accountable, that's a scary thought. It had been for me. Because when I realized my personal agency, there were some things in my life that I had to face up to. I could no longer blame my decisions on the toxic romantic relationship that I had in the past. I could no longer blame my actions on my feelings of not being good enough. I could no longer blame my procrastination on my fear of failure in the future. I had to be accountable because I know that I have a choice in every moment of my life. And nothing and no one controlled that but me. I had a sense of control over my life. I had a sense of agency in my life. And when we do finally acknowledge and muster the courage to use our own personal agency, there is nothing in the world that we cannot do. You can achieve your wildest dreams. You can do whatever you want. Because now you have a choice. You can choose what you want to do right now. You can choose what you want to do after high school. You can choose who to surround yourself with. You have more power than you realize. But the most powerful thing that we can use with this personal agency is when we choose this moment to just breathe. There's nothing more beautiful than just to pause, take a step back, and savor every single moment. In that moment at the beach, looking at the sun slowly rising over the horizon, hearing the waves crashing against the shore. That moment was when I chose to breathe. I slowly waded into the water, deeper and deeper until the water was on my chest, and I breathed in and out. I smiled to myself, saying, everything is going to be okay. So now, I ask you, what are you willing to face up to? What do you want to do with your personal agency? And then, go do it. All it takes is one decision. Thank you.